The WBA makes a decision on Yordenis Ugas Stanionis. A lot of people are confused. Leave it to your boy Ego to break it down. Break down. Steady breaking it on down. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Don't know how you found my video, but somehow, some way, you made it. You all arrived at the content. Please help others find this content. I'm the best in boxing, and that's why throwing a like on the video. It's free, it's quick, it's painless, it's simple. I can assure you that. Throw a like on the video, share the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. WBA, they posted that. So previously, Ugas, Cuban sensation that beat Manny Pacquiao, they're trying to clear the belts up and all this and that and reduce the amount of belts. So there's this conflict, right? It says the World Boxing Association, aka the WBA, auction between Yordenis Ugas and Stanionis, due to be held tomorrow, was suspended because both sides reached an agreement to finalize the fight, right? And then they put it again in Spanish. Let's see if there's anything else needs to be done, right? So people off the bat are assuming that this fight is happening next. I have a different viewpoint. I told you guys in my previous video, I have a video from yesterday. It said bad news for Terence Crawford, and the announcement we were waiting for the WBA, what they would decide, came out today. So some people, they think because the fight was agreed upon that means it's guaranteed to happen. I told you in the previous video, for anyone who would listen, that I believe Premier Boxing Champs and PBC have a path. They want Errol Spence to fight Yordenis Ugas. So although this looks like it's a hiccup and it looks like the Stanionis fight will get in the way of that, I don't see the case. I still see the Errol Spence versus Ugas fight happening next. Whether or not it's with the WBA belt, that remains to be the question. Just because two guys agree or two teams reach an agreement, that merely gets the sanctioning body off their back. Because if the two teams aren't amicably working together, then that's when you would force and go to a purse bid. And in the purse bid, an auction style bid would determine based on, they have minimums and stuff. For this particular fight with Stanionis and Ugas, I think to bid you need 200K or better, and you have some other criteria, promoter's license or whatever the criteria to bid in is. But all that was thwarted, and all of that was pushed aside because the two teams have agreed to terms. Again, agreeing to terms is not the same as, or just let me read what it says exactly. It says they have an agreement to finalize the fight. Both sides reached a deal. So this merely just kind of buys you time. But there's been other situations where we've seen, and I want to give you guys some precedents. We've seen other situations where seemingly mandatory fights stood to get in the way of other fights from happening, and mysteriously they went away, and they found a way to appease the side to allow for that fight to happen. Case in point, boom. I did a video from July of this year, and it's almost the end of, we're in December. It's almost the end of the year. Boxingego, #1 on Google. Made it, top of the world. It says breaking. Jermell Charlo forced to not fight Castano in a rematch. The news that had come out was after a brilliant fight with Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano of Argentina, the news came out that instead of Charlo Castano part 2, that both guys who were both champions in the 154-pound division were going to have to fight potential mandatories. That's why I made the video going over that piece of news again over the summer in July, right? Tim Tszyu was one of the mandatories. and the IBF ordered Jermell Charlo versus Bakram Murtalzaliev. I'm not good with names, so you guys got to excuse me. So the IBF, that's the direction that they were trying to go, right? Fast forward to the future, Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo, we just got information that they will be fighting in the next fight. Look, boom. Sources, I've already went over this. Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano agreed to a February 26th unification rematch in Houston. It's funny how this works. So even though it appeared that there was conflict that could stand in the way of Charlo Castano, which is a bigger fight. The first fight was action-packed and great action. Both guys, I believe, got hurt. Both guys pushed each other. Some people are conflicted on the draw. Some people thought Charlo won. Some people thought Castano won. It's a bigger fight. But guess what? Tim Tszyu and the Bacharov, or whatever the mandatory was, the other mandatory, notice those things just went away. And that's what happens sometimes in boxing. So even with the WBA announcing that the sides agreed, I don't think that this means, because some people are taking this as a direct rebuttal to my video yesterday. I said bad news for Terence Crawford, right? And some people think by reading this tweet, this means that Ugas is tied up guaranteed with Stanionis, and now Ugas is not fighting Errol Spence. You know, call me crazy, but I'm not of that belief. I still think Errol Spence and Ugas will be next in 2022. It's an easy fight to make. They'll probably end up giving Stanionis a slot on the card, or maybe a notary note and promise, almost like your cell phone. If you can't pay your cell phone and your bill's due on the 15th, you call AT&T and you can set up a P2P, a PT. What's it? A PTP? Promise to pay. And he said, hey, I can't pay you right now, but I'll pay you at the end of the week. So they might offer Stanionis some step aside money, something of that sort. But Spence Ugas is a unification, is bigger. And I think that's what they're looking for. Errol Spence had a retina surgery on his eye. As you guys see, he missed out on a huge payday and opportunity to fight Pacquiao. And I think it's only right that Errol Spence ended up fighting Ugas. Ugas wants to fight. Ugas also, this is something you guys got to look at the clues now. You got to look at the clues. Ugas also apologized to the WBA and said, I didn't mean to offend anybody. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what Errol Spence's next fight is. Some people automatically think because the WBA posted this means Errol Spence and Terence Crawford can happen next. I don't see it. Errol Spence told you from the beginning what his intent was. He said, I'm gonna clean up my side of the streets. I'm gonna bang that out. I'm gonna collect these belts, collect these paychecks, sell out these arenas. And then Terence Crawford, you know, keep your belt warm and then we'll fight. So there's a big controversy in terms of what people think will happen next. I guess we have to wait and see. But I still think Errol Spence and Ugas is happening next. I gave you guys examples of mandatories that seem to be a problem. This is the best recent example that I could think of. Charlo, people are saying, oh, Tim Tszyu, he got one of them had to fight Tim Tszyu and one of them had to fight this other dude. But notice how those problems went away. Look, Tim Tszyu and Bakram Murtaliev will step aside. You see that? So I believe Stanionis will add to this list to allow for the bigger unification, and maybe with the promise of a winner or something like that. You know, we've seen this happen. I remember Bermane Stavern and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Oh my God. Bermane Stavern got lawyer Josh Dubin. He did not want to step aside to allow Wilder to fight Luis Ortiz, King Kong Ortiz, the first time. He even got a lawyer to ensure that he got his mandatory position, right? In the end, Luis Ortiz failed a VADA test and there was some confusion. Later, he was cleared because I guess he had the medicine, whatever he tested positive for. And they said he had hypertension and it was a prescription medicine that caused the flag. And all in all, Bermane Stiverne was able to get the fight, but he did step aside and was finally going to be compensated. I think he was going to fight Eric Molina, and then the winner was going to fight against Wilder versus Luis Ortiz winner, whoever had that WBC belt. So these things come up in boxing where the promoter has a big fight that they're trying to put on, and you know, you got to pull some strings. I don't even know, to be honest. People are acting like the Stanionis and Ugas. It's not a bigger fight than Errol Spence. This is a fight. Ugas was Errol Spence's mandatory, and then now he's a respected champion, beat Manny Pacquiao. This is the fight to make, coming off the heels of Pacquiao. Don't nobody want to see the Stanionis fight. So a lot of people are sulking and they're thinking this WBA message really means something. To me, it doesn't mean much. They're saying they agreed and all that, but don't be surprised if someone comes up injured and say, oh, my shoulder hurt, and then Ugas is allowed to somehow to fight Errol Spence. So I'm not convinced. I still think it's going to be Errol Spence, Ugas next. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section. Time will reveal. But that WBA announcement, I had to clear it up because a lot of people think that means Errol has to fight Crawford because the Ugas fight is not happening next. You know, even with or without the WBA belt, I still think Errol Spence Ugas is next on the chopping block. That's my personal opinion. That's my honest opinion. Subscribe if you dig my content. Ego Stradamus. Remember this video. Remember the channel. Remember the name. The best at it. Subscribe. And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.